template columns, we will make the first part 1FR, but then the second part, let's do it 120px. So we are dividing it into two here. So let's see what happens. I have saved, it's still resolving. Okay, so I'm hoping that that particular thing will show for the desktop. Let me check for the desktop side. This is mobile, so desktop, we have this. So in the section here, okay, we can actually tell it to do it for, oh, are we doing it for mobile? Let's check, because we have two sections. Oh, we are doing it for mobile. It's wrong. Let's cut it from here and then do div nav link desktop, and then the one for desktop. I can do it somewhere here, okay, because I'm not seeing anything on desktop here. So div nav link dot mobile, oh sorry, not mobile but desktop. The direct div inside, I want it to have this effect, display that and then show. So let's see, you can see it's showing, it's popping up. So let's see what is causing it to move down a bit. Well, I'm assuming it should be slightly moved to the top instead of being pushed to the down. So it's actually not, you see, it's actually not in the actual container. When you look at it, as if it's not being displayed in the actual container. This is a container, okay, and then this is this part. So even this part is too tall. So this div container itself in the desktop view, okay, we did not give it, you see, we gave a 68 to the mobile side, a height. So the 68 was actually for all the nav, but then it did not apply. So let me give the desktop a height to force it to have that 68 height also. So I'm setting that to 68. Let's see what happens when it's 68. So it looks like the height has reduced, and then this element, I think the element here, let's check it out. It looks like this element has some extra functionality that is pushing it down. So I'll click on it here. Yes.
And please, in the CSS you have div.navlink desktop display none.
Display none. Did we do some settings on the button there?
No, it is under the div.navlink.desktop. I'm thinking maybe it's overriding it.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, we have some div nav desktop here, but then this is direct div inside. Okay, this is direct div, but then we can bring it close to it. Let me cut this and bring it close to that one, right? So it wouldn't confuse. So this is it. So in the div, I've seen something here. When you check this, it has a margin top. You know, you recall that we did this margin top for mobile side, where we pushed it down a bit. That is what is causing the problem. So look at this one, because we push the join as margin top to 40 to move it away from the contact as vertically, but horizontally we don't need it. We don't need that value, right? So that has to be reset to be applied only in the mobile side, not in the desktop side. Did you get it? But then what this thing Blessing was also bringing up is that because we set this was the one you were talking about, right?
Yes, sir.
So we also have this, but then I don't think that is what caused it, because when you look at this, when you look at these values, that's what, when I remove it, you can see, you see, when I uncheck them, then it shows. So it means that in a mobile view, this particular part should not be applied at all. It shouldn't be applied for mobile. It should rather be applied for, sorry, desktop. It shouldn't be applied for desktop. It should rather be applied for mobile. So one, we can actually look for that. I think it's somewhere. Okay, this is it, right? This is the effect. So I can decide that, you know what, this part alone, I'll copy it and then remove this one from here and then save this. So I don't have to do anything here. But then when I come into the mobile, where I have a mobile effect, this one, I can put this thing in the mobile side and then close it like this, right? If I like, I just remove the nav this in there and only leave the section dot joiners and save. So when I save, you see in the mobile view I don't have any in the desktop view I don't have any issue. Let's see the mobile side too, and then fine, you see the space we needed is provided. But then when we go to desktop, it takes it off, so we don't have to do any extra settings on it. It's because we are using the same effect with the same name, okay, and we are styling that same thing, same naming. But don't forget that that same thing that we are applying to in the mobile view will be affecting the desktop view. So things that are not common to all of them, both desktop and mobile, if they are not common, make sure that you put it under element specific section. So you see, I place it inside the mobile specific section, right? So it means that it is only in the mobile specific section that it will apply this effect. But in general, it will just apply only button effects like this for us. That's all. So now everything, I hope you are clear with this explanation. I hope you are clear. It's just other than that, what you can also do, this is sometimes a professional way of doing it, but then there are other ways you can also go around some of these things. And that will be that because we are creating different one for desktop, one for this thing, I can decide that I'll name this button section, instead of saying join us for the desktop nav and then the mobile nav, I would rather say desktop join us and then mobile join us. Then I will style them separately, right? So when I do it for mobile join us, it won't affect desktop join us. They all have different effects. But because I'm using the same section join us for both sections, that's why some of the effects I'm applying at one side is also affecting the other part as well. So sometimes you just move it a little bit to the element specific or the class specific section, and then it will take care of all that. So now it's okay, there's no problem with it. But then you see our links are not in the center when we are in the desktop view. We want it to be in the center, right? And we have created this place to be 1FR of a display grid. So it means it is going to, 1FR is also going to occupy the whole space here and leave the space that only this part needs. So let's go in here and then target the CSS style, and then that section in a desktop view. There is it. I think there is it, right? So I think we don't need the height. If I'm not mistaken, we don't need the height. It was because that thing was pushing it. That's why I had to set the height to force it. So you see, even if I remove the height, it still works fine, right? Because nothing is pushing it now again. Then I have spaced this element up and then given it that 1FR effect, and they are inside the main div. So let's look at this. In the desktop view, the NavLink desktop, okay, the direct div inside it has two children inside it, the first one and the second one. So it's the first one that has the navs, and I want to put them in the center of the container, and I'm saying the container should have what, 1FR, and then for the first section, once you are inside this container, the div, I want to divide it into two. The first one part should be to contain or should occupy the remaining space of after the fixed size has been removed, right? The fixed size is taking care of the section which represents this our button. That's the space we have allocated 120px for only this button. The remaining space will be allocated for the navigation elements, right? So it is that space that we have to target, and this is inside this section, the first child of that particular div. So we can now say that in this particular div element, I can put it inside here. I'll say the section inside it, which is the first child, okay, should display flex, okay, and then it should justify the content inside it to the center. That is all. So when I save this, it will make this container push its children to the center. You can see. So now when I open it, you see it's in the center of the page, right? This is very nice that it pushed it to the end here. So at this point, you can see, even though we are not fully done, but when I try to move this, immediately I get to mobile, you see it toggles to mobile, and then when I go to desktop or tablet, it toggles to that. So this is the behavior we wanted, right? Now the only thing we are left is to click on, let's do some 6 minutes in addition to 8:30, then we can close. So we do this, we click on this. When we click on this button, it should cause the menu bar to slide back and forth, okay? So we are going to do that part. Let's see if we can finish it up in under 6 minutes. Hey, and I wanted us to actually push this when we are done. So let's see how quickly we can be able to do this. So we'll go into our navbar, right? There's some settings we have to do in the navbar that would cause it, because our button is here, the button we have to click on, and these click events can only be triggered using a client-side JavaScript, right? Which React is best at doing. So we'll say on click, that is the click event. We have to create a function for it. So we'll say handle, we can call it just handle menu handle toggle menu or something. So let me say handle